How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Steinsgate, Linear Bounded Phenogram, where we're about to wrap up the Moeka story. Now, last time we were here, we've really seen her wrestling. While it's going through very similar, not quite identical if I remember correctly, but very, very similar events that we see in the main Steinsgate, main path, right initially. We see a lot of her interaction with the Rounders, but we're also seeing that she's starting to understand that there's a big difference between having somebody whom relies on her and somebody whom actually trusts and wants to be around her. And so now she's super torn because she doesn't want to do either or both or something. She's torn. Torn's a good word for it. So we're going to see how she deals with the upcoming situation because if I remember correctly, it's just tomorrow when things are really going to be kicking off. So we are going to see what's going to happen. But for tonight, she's been invited to the lab to see what Okabe has planned for another council meeting. All right. So let's just jump right back into it, shall we? Okabe-kun welcomes us up upon our return.
Yokuzo modotta omae tachi. Sa, kono ore ni shouri no kagi o misete kure.
Oh, right. There was an attempted hit on Kurisu that we helped position her for, but we also saved her the last second from it. And Moeka's really devastated from that whole experience. Just not even sure what she wants or how to get what she wants. It's just been a mess. So yeah, a little bit touchy right now. So let's see what happens.
調理の鍵はないけど、パーツはちゃんと買ってきたわよ。はい、これ。
What? Why is he so upset?
そういえば、あんた、さっき D メール使ったでしょ。
What? Uh-oh.
ちょっと岡部。
Is this a time leap
聞いてる
version
の？
of him?
おかり？大丈夫？岡部ってば。おい、何ぼーっとしてるのよ。
Yeah, this is time leap, Okabe.
パーツは無事か?
Yeah?
パーツって、あんたがその手に持ってるものは何なのよ。
俺の手に？お！確かに、これは俺が求めていた世界変革の鍵だ。
Yeah.
今回も無事に実験は成功。
Okay, what?
我が身に宿る魔眼、リーディングシュタイナーは確かに発動したぞ。
Okay, really?
はい。12妄想オツ。
妄想ではない。なぜなら俺はお前たちがパーツを壊したままラボへ戻ってきた世界線から来たのだ。
Okay.
それ本気で言ってる？
That's interesting.
もちろん本気だ。
だとしたら全ての辻褄が合うわね。どういうこと？
Yeah, well, we had a close call.
マユシーはオカリンの言ってることがよくわからないのです。
Oh, interesting.
さっきまで別の世界線にいた岡部が私たちの世界線にやってきたってことよ。
Interesting. So what we saw, it kind of looked a lot like a time leap, but it looks like it wasn't. It was a D-mail. Interesting. I don't think we've ever seen one of those from the outside before.
まゆり、あのメール見せてあげて。
わかった。
おお、無事に受信したようだな。
あんたはこの D メールを送ることによって私たちに壊れたパーツを買い直す機会を与えたわけね。
ほう、察しがいいな、助手よ。
じゃあ本当に今の岡部は別の世界線から来たんだ。
Weird. How weird.
さあ、パーツも無事に揃って危機は乗り越えた。作戦は続けるぞ。
Right. Crap, though, that opens the door for a different crisis. I tell the others that I'm not feeling so good. Head home. Oh yeah, it's playing the music of fun! Right after entering my place, I get a message from FP. Well, good work. While today's mission ended in failure, that's just the roll of the dice. It's not your fault. M4, don't take it personally. Thank goodness FP hasn't figured it out. Why do I feel so relieved? There's no way this is the last time she's going to order me to kill the lab mems. Heck, this is just an indirect kill order. If I keep failing to accomplish my mission, eventually she's going to order me to kill them directly. Tomorrow. And when that time comes, will I be able to do it? Can I stain my hands with their blood? There's no way I can. And yet... Sheena, something related to your job, dealing with other people can be hard. Actually, yeah, I'm worried about my relationship with my boss. Lately, everything they tell me somehow doesn't mesh with how I feel. What do you think I should do, Moeka? Yes, talk to them. I can't afford to stay with them any longer. As long as we're together, everyone in that lab will know only misfortune. I can't bear that. I'm scared. It hurts. Someone save me. Okabe-kun, Kurisu-san, Mayuri-san, FB. I stopped showing up at the lab after that. Crap. I spent several days doing nothing after that. I couldn't even bring myself to leave my room. It goes without saying, but I ran out of my supply of cup noodles. Eventually I stopped thinking and feeling hungry at all. Without anything to do, I just sat there spacing out. My days consisted entirely of sleeping when tired, waking up, and then repeating it all over again. Fetch, Moeka. You're probably sleeping now from, exhaustion from lack of food. But right now, I'm actually glad I'm like this. I have no idea what I would do otherwise. At one point, I even considered dying and being done with it all. FB hasn't sent me any emails over the last few days. She used to message me daily. I'm scared. I'm terrified of living more than I am of my eventual death. Dang. I'm scared of being abandoned by FB and returning to my life of solitude. I don't want to lose her, no matter how awful her orders might be. She's too important to me. I'd do anything I'd break anything, kill anyone. Even if that person was Kurisu-san. I picture it in my head and immediately feel sick again. If I hadn't pulled Kurisu-san's hand, she would have died. I shouldn't have pulled her hand. I'm glad I pulled her hand. God, cognitive dissonance is horrid here. My head's a mess. My groan turns into a shout. Even though I haven't had anything to drink, my tears refuse to stop. I thought they'd be dried up by now. But there's no point in figuring that out now. I've long since known that crying won't lead to someone saving me. An email from FB? I leap up to grab my phone. Makise. What are you up to? You doing okay? You haven't been to the lab lately, so everyone's worried. If you're up to it, I think we can swing by today. Mayuri really wants to see you. I'll be waiting too.
Please.
It's not from FB. Wait. I close my phone and fling it into the corner of the room. Curled up in a ball, all I can do is wait for FB to get in touch with me. She's all I have. She's the only one who needs me. Only FB. Can I check the phone again? I had another message on it. I reach for the corner of the room and grab my phone again. Kurisu-san's email still displayed on the screen. I'll be waiting too. I don't know. Because they actually kind of care a lot. Like, it's crazy, but they do. Without even realizing it, I'd risen to my feet while still grasping my phone. With a stagger in my step, I somehow managed to make my way to the lab. It took me more than twice as long as usual. So she responded last night. Sometimes we just end up having different opinions on things. Miyushi thinks that there's no right or wrong when it comes to that sort of thing. You just have to trust and follow your own feelings. Even if it makes a mistake, it's not like it's the end of the world. Yeah. On the way over, I finally started to feel hungry again. My stomach was growling. I had figured that if FB was going to abandon me, I'd rather starve to death than go back to being alone. The second I open the lab door, a wave of fun and cheerful voices washes over me. Surprisingly, all the lab members are gathered inside.
Ah! Moeka-san!
Miyuri-san comes running up to me as soon as she spots me.
いらっしゃい！待ってたよ。
Wow. She holds me in her arms tightly.
ちゃんと萌香さんがいる。
Oh, she's so pure. Miyuri-san won't let me go. She buries her face in my chest like she's checking to see if I exist. Her cheeks rub up against me.
もう来てくれないかと思ったよ。
Oh, don't do that. Don't cry.
マユシーは鈍感だから、また前みたいに萌香さんのことを怒らせちゃったかなって心配だったのです。
No.
そんなことない。私嬉しかった。メールで会いたがってるって聞いて。
Oh. Miyuri-san raises her face from my chest and gently smiles.
だって本当に会いたかったんだもん。
まゆりさん。
お久しぶりにゃん。
Miyuri-san holds onto me tightly as Fetish-san trots over. She's cat-like in her approach, tapping on Miyuri-san on the shoulder.
まゆしまゆし、萌えにゃんが困ってるにゃん。
Yeah.
ごめん萌香さん。
Oh,
まゆしまた失敗しちゃった。
you're fine. Miyuri dejectedly starts to distance herself from me, but I grab her hand.
大丈夫。待ってないから。
Like, it's funny, because, like, when it comes to the other girls, like, I can see shipping and all that stuff, you know, with Okabe, and just, like, also, like, I also like to imagine, like, would I have been friends with them? And it's like, well, yeah. Like, I'd wish I could be friends with people like them. And I could see it happening if I were in this world. It's weird to say that. I know it's super, like, weeby and all that grossness, but, like, hear me out. I put myself in the stories, in the shoes of either the protagonist or... One of my favorites is to imagine if I was an extra cast member. I started this when I would read Harry Potter when I was younger, because there was nothing more cool than imagining yourself like being able to get a letter from Hogwarts and like go there. And ever since then, I tend to put myself inside the stories a little bit. I know it's not realistic, but I like to ask myself like, what would I do if I were here? Like, is there anything I would say or anything that like realistically I would say? Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I'd be the superhero and I tell them all the answers and everything. So like, but no. And what would I really do? And maybe that's part of why I get so caught up in all of this, is because I feel like I can be there in a way. And like, while I know Moeka, like, she's definitely drawn as being just beautiful, beautiful character, beautiful, like, attractive person. I just know that she's definitely not in a place for being in any kind of relationship right now. And I also just wouldn't see that being the kind of person, like, I don't think I would even, like, if I were here, I would feel that, but I definitely would want to be her friend. Because it's one thing to just, like, have something in common with somebody. It's another to be like, you just need a friend. Can I just be around occasionally and, like, talk to you? And not because, like, she needs to be rescued or anything, but, like, sometimes people just need someone to chat with, and that's okay. That can be you. Maybe you just need someone to chat with, and that's okay. It can be hard, and maybe that wouldn't lead to a long-lasting friendship, you know? There's plenty of people who I got to know and was close with that I lost track of after a few years. It doesn't mean that I regret that relationship or think that my life is lessened because they moved forward and I moved forward. Nor that we parted on any improper terms. But Moeka is probably the person who needs friends the most, and I would love to be able to be a part of that like Miyuri is. Maybe not quite at the same level, but like, you know, I'd be very proud to be able to stand with Moeka, even knowing that she is the kind of person who might be pushed to and likely will betray the group. Especially now we kind of see things from her perspective. I still wouldn't regret it at all. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that weird? It's very weird. Aww, so cute. She flashes me a huge smile after I nod to her.
ありがとう。萌香さんはやっぱり優しいね。
I feel some semblance of warmth inside my chilled chest. And the hunger.
萌香さん、お腹減ってるの？すっごい音だったにゃん。
Mm-hmm.
最近何も食べてなくて。
じゃあ、
Spicy chicken
これ
over
食べ
one.
て。
Mayday brings some fried chicken over from the table.
でも
大丈夫だよ。マユシーのはまた買ってくればいいのです。
Oh yeah.
ありがとう。
Kurusu-san emerges from further inside the lab while I munch on the offerings.
久しぶりね、萌香さん。クリスさん。
She isn't her usual cool and composed self today. If anything, she seems kind of nervous.
その、なんて言えばいいのかな、こういう時。
笑えばいいと思うよ。
Yeah.
柱茶化すな。岡部も笑うな。まったくもう。
After pushing a grinning Okabe-kun aside, Kurusu-san comes up to me. She takes a deep breath and smiles.
萌香さん、戻ってきてくれてありがとう。
Yeah. I once again feel the warmth in my chest rising up as I reply to her without even thinking.
さっき分かったと思うけど、まゆりが寂しがって大変だったんだから。
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. It was just Mayuri. Not any you at all, you know, you tsundere. Fetch. Is this implying that like that could have been potentially a Kurisu Moeka thing? I feel like the developers are just messing with us, aren't they?
お前も相当だったがな。萌香さんは来てないのと何度聞かれたことか。
Aww. Kurisu-san's face turns bright red. She shoots a fierce grin at Okabe.
あんたな。 そうなの？
いや、なんていうか、
確かに岡部の言ってることは間違いじゃないんだけど、言い方っていうのか、その。
It's just how we said it.
だいぶテンパってるな。
Mm-hmm.
誰のせいだ、誰の。とにかく来てくれて嬉しいわ。
Yeah. Aww. It's so sweet.
今日はね、萌香さんを元気づけるためのパーティーをしようと思っていたのです。
あくまでタイムリープマシン完成パーティーのついでだがな。
Oh crap.
水を差すな。
Yeah, yeah.
今日のところは謝っておこう。
懸命でよろしい。
Good boy. I see. So they've completed the time loop machine. I can feel my heart growing cold again. As a lab mem, I'm thrilled. But as a rounder, this is dangerous. If they continue with their research, their lives will be...
本当にタイムディープマシンが。
Okabe-kun puts his hand on my shoulder.
そうだ。お前が買い出しに行ってくれたからこそ、無事に完成させることができたのだ。
Aww.
だから始圧しよう。お前がいなければパーティーは始まらんだろう。
None of them have changed one bit. They welcome me into this lab, this group, like it's completely natural. I stop thinking too hard about things, and my heart returns to normal.
ねえねえ、調理器具の準備終わったよ。
Yeah, I'm gonna check this real quick, but yes. Oh, it's Makise. That's a relief. I'm relieved to hear you'll be coming back to the lab, but did something happen? If you want to talk about it, my ears are always open.
調理何を作るの
Yeah, yeah.
カレーライス。大人数に振る舞うのにこれほど適した料理もないからね。
Ooh, curry rice. I might want to try that sometime. It sounds like it'd be pretty easy.
カレーライス
I'm reminded that my stomach is completely empty.
材料をちょっと多めに買っておいて正解だったにゃ。
Oh yeah, especially for her.
フェイリスさんがキッチンにということはまさかのメイクイン秘伝カレーきたおおみなぎってきた
Daru.
足だ自重しろ
だが断る
I refuse! I end up helping Miri-san and Kiri-san, Urashibara-san, and Fetish-san make the curry. Since she works at the maid cafe, Fetish-san takes the lead in the kitchen while Miyuri-san and Kiri-san cut the vegetables. Urashibara-san is in charge of the pot. I'm not exactly a good chef, so I'm the taste tester. Things go smoothly, and a delicious smell wafts from the pot. Next up to bat, Kurisu-san brings over the canned pineapples. Ooh, interesting.
次はこれを入れてみない
あー、パイナップルだ。美味しそうだね。
Oh yeah, they are.
マキセさん本気で言ってるんですか
Oh yeah, fruit's kind of a thing in Japan. I was listening to Trash Taste, and they were talking about how like buying fresh fruit, especially, is like insane in Japan for some reason. Like expensive
どう
wise.
したの漆原さん
I think it was like, I think the anime man was talking about how like there were cherries that he saw a bag for that were like, it was like for like a little bag of like 30 cherries, it was like equivalent of like $45, like US dollars for a bag of 30 cherries. That's insane.
それは入れなくても美味しく出来上がると思うんですけど
Not a fan,
そ
huh?
うかしら私は何事も実験してみなくちゃ解は出ないと思うわ科学とお料理を
Please don't confuse
一緒にしないで
science
くだ
with
さい
cooking. But cooking is science. In a flash of unbelievable speed, Fetish-san manages to grab Kurisusan's arm before she can pour the pineapples into the pot.
クーニャンちょっと待つにゃ。
Okay. Fetish-san usually has a cheerful smile on her face, but right now she looks kind of panicked.
はい
絶対にそれは入れちゃダメにゃ。
Okay, why? Kurisusan recoils from Fetish-san's intense gaze and puts the can down.
はいすみませんでした
ねえ今日まあもしかしてクーニャンって
Wait, what?
さすがだなフェイリス。お察しの通りクリスティーナは飯まず系女子だ。
Oh no.
なんだ飯まず系女子って
I happen to think that pineapple is great in curry, but I think it needs to be in the right curry.
どう見てもお前は将来飯まず嫁になるのが確定している味覚の持ち主だぞ。
Oh, ouch.
なんですって
Nandeste. I know it's kind of a cliche phrase, but I love that phrase.
助手よ。なぜお前はカレーにパインを入れようと思った？
美味しくなる可能性があると思ったから
Like, true. Maybe you should experience it in your bowl, not in the entire batch. That is a big problem.
お前は可能性があればカレーにパインを入れてもいいと思うのか？
当たり前じゃない実証してもいないことを否定してかかるなんてあんたらしくないわよ
料理に科学者的センスや思考を持ち込むな。お前はラボ面の下を破壊するつもりか？
そんなのやってみなくちゃわからないじゃない
Me too.
1% でも破壊する可能性があるならやめておいた方が
Yeah. Not to the whole batch. That's the key, Kurisu. Add it to your bowl first.
俺にはわかる。 華麗にパインは失敗する。
あんたにどんな確証があるっていうのよ。
Show me the receipts of the research.
いや、それはだな。勘。そう、マッドサイエンティストとしての勘だ。
実はオカリンのお家は八百屋さんなのです。
Oh yeah, that gives him credentials. So the word he used, con, he said it twice in a way that sounded like it was the word for instinct, but it sounds too short to be like genuinely instinct. Maybe it just means like gut or like, well, I guess instinct would be the translation, but I'm guessing it's not a direct translation, like not really, because a lot of times there's no real great translation.
超マユリ、それを言うな。
昔売れ残ったパインをオカリンが華麗に混ぜて大変なことになったよね。
Ah, interesting.
あ、
He's like, oh.
あれは真の地獄だった。
He's admitting that he's like, don't do it. I've already tried that. I mean, okay, I've never had curry in pineapple in curry. I know I've seen it in curries before, but I've never had it. But I've had mango curry, and that was delicious. So like having something sweet's not a problem. But maybe the texture of pineapple might be unappealing in a curry, but I doubt it. Warm pineapple's pretty good on a lot of in a savory dish.
なるほど。だからカレーにパインが合わないって知ってたんですね。
Mm-hmm.
へえ。でも岡部が八百屋さんか。想像できないわね。
うちのことにはもう触れるな。
He's so touchy about it.
ごほん、みんないいかにゃ。型破りなことをするにはまず型を覚えてからにゃ。
Ooh, that's a great point.
わかったわよ。この知的好奇心は次の機会に取っておくわ。
Amen.
何にも分かっとらんではないか。
Hey, she can save it for a time when she has mastered it, though she might just try it anyway. Everyone laughs at Okabe-kun and Kurusu-san's back and forth. And before I know it, I'm laughing too. It's just fun. I feel fulfilled. I've overcome by this warmth, something I've never had when I was alone. I don't want to lose this lab. I don't want to lose the people who made me feel this way. I don't want to let go of this everyday life that I finally found for myself. I want to stay here. I feel the vibration on my phone. Oh, here come the bells a-tolling. Oh no. Can I ignore it? Can I just put the phone away and like pretend it's clearly an email, not a call? None of the lab members are holding a cell phone in their hands. And there's only one person who'd send me a message outside of the people here. Are you doing well? Tonight, the assault squad will attack the future Gadget laboratory. They've already arrived in Akihabara. Rendezvous with them in front of the public restroom at Sohibashi before the operation begins. Can you warn them? Will you be brave enough to do it? I doubt it, but please? I can feel the blood drain from my body. My chest feels tight. I can barely breathe.
Moeka-san, 大丈夫？
大丈夫。
でも何かあったらいつでも言ってね。
I have to reply. If I don't, Rafi will abandon me. If I can't carry out her missions, my life has no value. Effie is special to me. She gave me a reason to keep living. I can't betray her. This is the programming the Rounders did. The psychological conditioning kicking in. It's like, it sounds ridiculous and contradictory, but like, it's a very real thing. Okay, we do it to our kids. We kind of have to, because we want them to do things, to understand things like running into the street when there's without like checking for traffic is dangerous. They don't understand it and they can't comprehend why that's bad, so you have to program it into them effectively, brainwashing them. But it's part of the growing process. Unfortunately, these tactics and these weaknesses in our minds that help us stay alive when we're young can also be used as weapons to control us in later life. So like these thoughts, they're not rational thoughts, but she can't help them. They're coming from a part of her brain that doesn't ever have to touch the frontal cortex, the processing part of our brain. It's instinct. And instinct is hard to fight. So if I follow her orders.
ちょっと外の空気を吸ってくる。
I peek into the Braun 2 workshop. It's still open, and the owner, Tenoji-san, is watching a movie on the large CRT in the back. I wanted to sit on the bench just outside the shop, so it's convenient that he's looking away. I start typing my response. They don't have the capacity to oppose SERN. I don't think they need to be killed. No, I can't send this message. I can't possibly talk back to FB, but my fingers are trembling. We could leave them alive to cooperate with the time machine research. This isn't good. At this rate, not even Meguri-san or Ferris-san will be spared. They don't even have anything to do with the research. My mind races, but I can't come up with a way to save everyone without betraying FB. I'm powerless. I was foolish to ever think that I could oppose her. Filled with a deep emptiness, I pull out my phone again. Understood. No, don't! Is this really the right answer? I don't know. Just checking. I still have full trust in you, but just in case you develop some kind of attachment to them and plan to betray us, don't get ahead of yourself. The people at the lab wouldn't hesitate to abandon you. You don't want to go back to the way you were before, right? Think carefully about this. Don't disappoint me. I trust you, M4. See, that's that conditioning again. It's totally obvious. I used to feel comfort and joy from FB, but now all I feel is fear. I can't disappoint her. If I do, she'll abandon me. And if she abandons me, I'll just go back to being the lonely Kuryu Moeka from before. I think back to the day I stood up on the roof of that building, looking down at the ground far below. It's true that by turning me into M4, FB saved my life. There's no guarantee that I'll be able to stay with everyone at the lab forever. As long as I live for FB, I'll never be abandoned. Oh, the irony of that.
ここにいたんだ。何かあったの?
I can tell just by looking into their eyes. They have no idea that I'm planning on stabbing them in the back. And that makes sense. They trust me, the labman, Kiryu Moeka. They don't know M4. They just see me as another labman, an ally. And yet
Moeka-san.
Kurisu sits down next to me.
本当に大丈夫? なんだか苦しそうよ。
Her gentle voice causes me to reflexively avert my eyes.
なんでもない。
I choke on my words with denial.
どうしたのかな、萌香さん。眉し、また何かしちゃった？
Meguri-san holds my hand in her own.
なんでもない。なんでもないの。なんでもないはずないでしょ。
そうだよ。だって萌香さん今にも泣きそうだよ。
なんでもないから。
I can't tell them. I can't tell them that I'm making plans to kill them all.
私たちには話せないことなのね。わかったわ。
Perhaps taking my silence as a yes, Kurisu-san distances herself from me. Does she hate me now? That'd be for the best. I'd prefer it if they hated me. But instead, Kurisu-san stares deep into my eyes and a serious expression on her face.
話せないなら話さなくてもいいわ。今は。でも覚えておいて。もしも 萌香さんが大変な目にあったり嫌な思いをすることがあったら私たちは必ず力になるから。どうして？
Why won't you hate me? I don't deserve your help. Mayuri continues to hold my hand firmly and smiles.
どうしてって当たり前だよ。だって萌香さんは友達だもん。
Both of them nod. Lab mem, ally, friend. Are any of these someone who would stay with me forever? Who would they make sure? Would they make sure I'd never be alone? That's tough. Because it's not a responsibility of a friend to do that, but at the same time, being this alone is a very, very tough place because it's also very tough to fix. It's hard for other people to understand, comprehend. Like, there could be people who want to be there for you, but they also have their own lives. It's hard. It's hard! Even if I'm a horrible traitor.
落ち着いたらラボに戻りましょう。漆原さんとフェイリスさんが早めに帰らなきゃいけないらしいから、その前に乾杯しなきゃね。
Okay.
落ち着いてからでいいんだよ。
Their gentle hands clasp mine. Will you hold on tight even if I'm a traitor? I can't voice these words. The phone in my pocket vibrates, indicating the arrival of a new message. But instead of checking it, I just keep holding onto their hands. Wonder if that was a choice. Wonder if I got a different ending because of that. The party resumes at the lab and everyone continues to enjoy themselves. Interesting. Okay. Oh my gosh. So, I got messages. I think I got a different ending this time. You'll serve as a guide for this operation. Before, basically just follow the assault squad's orders. It's entirely possible they'll have you drop the target's guard directly. In an attempt to make the operation go as smoothly as possible, act accordingly. It's okay, you can do it. You have no problem with the cargo drop before, right? Believe in yourself, trust in me. What? Oh, okay, alright. Then outbox. Cancel the attack. Party is trapped sent by, is TARP sat by lab mems can call attack. Whoa. That's a dangerous game to play. Cancel the attack. What? I don't understand. Calm down and explain yourself. Lab mems have support from outside. Cancel attack. And 4, are you still in the lab? It's past the rendezvous time. Hurry up, get out of there, head to the rendezvous point. Police interference, possible, cancel the attack. Status report, M4, we're modifying the operation, stay put, listen to any orders from the assault squad. I can see how she's trying to stop it all from happening, but there's not a way. The party resumes to the lab, everyone continues to enjoy themselves. Meanwhile, I'm in the corner going back and forth with FP. But at this point, there's no chance of the operation being cancelled. FP's replies just keep telling me to go meet up with the other rounders. And before I even have the chance to act, only a few minutes remain before the operation begins in earnest. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do?
Mayuri-san.
I suddenly notice her smiling and patting me on the head.
みんな心配してるよ。でもね、みんなテレ屋さんだから、マユシーがメッセンジャーなのです。
Mm-hmm.
ごめんなさい。
With things where they are, maybe I should just tell everyone the truth and get them to run. But that would also make it obvious that I'm both rounder and a traitor. If I did that, I doubt they'd want to stay with me. On the contrary, you saved their lives to prevent them from dying? That sounds like a great way to make a friend. And on top of that, FB would abandon me for telling the truth. I don't want to be alone again. I'm too afraid to betray her. But I also don't want everyone to die. What should I do? What can I do? What can I even do?
難しいことはよくわからないけど。
I guess I'm wearing my concern on my face. Mayuri-san flashes me a kind smile like she always does.
マユシーはいつでも萌香さんの味方だからね。
Aww. Mayuri-san's words give me the push I need.
マユリさん、あのね。
The moment I open my mouth, there's no stopping me. I'm going to tell them everything. Bam, 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 right? I'll tell them the truth and we'll get out of here together. Yeah! But suddenly a group of armed men burst into the lab.
動くな。
Everything happens so suddenly that nobody can think to move or react. I was too late.
なんだ、なんぞ。
The Rounders can't be negotiated with. I should know I'm one of them. The man who appears to be their leader moves his head, signaling us to move.
手を挙げて全員一列に並べ。早くしろ。
Everyone does as they're told, putting their hands up and getting a horizontal line side by side.
タイムマシンはどこだ。渡せば危害は加えない。
That's a lie. That's a lie. There's a kill order out for them.
タイムマシンか。今渡せ。だからまずは仲間の無事を。
Okabe-kun looks on his side, looks to his side, looks to his side to check up on everyone, but his expression quickly changes to shock. Something comes flying through the slightly open door.
スモークか。
Oh, fetch. The Rounders turn to their focus to the object sliding across the floor. But it's just an ordinary cell phone. Taking advantage of the opening, Amane-san comes rushing in like a hurricane. Wait, so who threw the cell phone? Amane-san's body moves with incredible grace as she strikes the leader with her elbow. She snatches her handgun away, his handgun away and fires it. 2 shots ring out. 2 Rounders groan and drop their guns almost simultaneously. 3 Rounders remain. Their bewilderment lasts only a few moments before they ready their guns. However, Amane-san is faster than they are. She sprays bullets at the men, forcing them to retreat back down toward the door. That she was ready. Amane-san shouts orders at the rest of us, keeping the Rounders pinned down with her suppressive fire. That sounds like that's... Oh, crap. That might be the best case, but at the same time, it seems odd that they might not leave somebody outside, just in case it goes south, and they could just go down the stairs. She can't cover them from, like, going down the stairs.
お前はどうするんだ。
後から行く。今は自分の心配。
わかった。行くぞみんな。
Fetch, fetch, fetch!
オッケー。
なんかよくわからないけど、考えてる暇はなさそうね。
The moment I try to follow after everyone, the cell phone in my hand vibrates. No, ignore it. It's from FB. Out of the habit, I check the message. The Rounders are pinned down and can't move. It's time. Kill the lab members yourself if you can do that. I'll look the other way regarding your refusal to join the operation. This is your final chance. If you can't do it, I'm sorry, but I'll have no choice but to abandon you. Please don't force me to do this. My feet freeze in place. I quickly look around the room. Is FB watching what's going on from somewhere? Is she watching me? She's watching over me. But if I don't act, she'll abandon me. My heart fills with pure dread. Choose. You're a Rounder. They aren't your friends. I'm the only one you can trust. FB's like my own mother. FB saved me. FB needs me. If she abandons me, I'll be alone again. FB still needs me. This is it. My last chance. It's okay. You're a girl who stars for affection above all else. More than average girl. Even I can understand why you'd seek that from people in that lab. However, I also understand you better than any of them do, and I want you to stay at my side. Please return to me. Oh! I stare down at the message. I quickly grab the handgun laying near my feet.
動かないで。
I need water to drink and I can't drink. I'm just so upset at this. Fetch. I just no.
桐生何をしている
The lab men look at me stunned. They finally figured it out. That I'm a traitor. They'll never want to be with me again. In that case, I might as well spill it all.
私は M4 セルのラウンダー。桐生萌かどうしてね
The three rounders lunge at Amane-san in the second she gives them an opening. Even she can't move with the three of them pinning her to the floor.
してた
話は聞いている。分かってるな、M4。
I nod at him. I left the handgun and pointed at everyone, my fingers sliding over the trigger. But for some reason, I can't pull it. My hand starts to shake. Why? They don't see me as one of them anymore. If I don't pull the trigger, FB will abandon me too. I'll be all alone again.
私
I know I've always known FB is all I have.
私
Eventually she'll abandon me too, but even then...
どうした？何をしている？
Shoot, I need to shoot. This is all I have left.
萌かさん
クリス近づくな
萌香さん
マユリもやめろ
もういいの私のことなんかどうでも
よくないよだって萌香さん泣いてる辛そうだよ
I only noticed after she tells me. Yeah. Oh, Moeka. I'm crying and I didn't even realize it.
萌香さん突然のことすぎてよくわからないけれどそれはあなたの意志なの私にはあなたが本気で私たちを殺そうとしているなんて信じられない
そうだよ萌香さんが優しいってマユシーは知ってるのです
Why? Why do they have such warm words for me? I'm a traitor. A coward who couldn't defy FP. I'm literally trying to kill them all.
私は裏切り者なの初めからスパイ目的でここに潜入したの
I hate me, please. If you do, I'll finally regain the strength to pull the trigger. I can go back to being M4. But they refuse to back down.
本当に萌香さんはスパイなの私たちと仲良くしたのもスパイだったから一緒に笑ったのも一緒に女子会したのも私のことを助けてくれたのも
マユシーと唐揚げ食べたのもスパイさんのお仕事だったの
Dang, they're thinking really clearly at this time. Fetch.
そんなスパイさんマユシーは聞いたことないのです
Oh, Fetch. Oh, Fetch.
そうだわ目を背けないで私たちを見て一緒に過ごした時間が本当にただの任務のためだったのか思い出してみてよ
萌香さん
どうして
I barely managed to squeeze out my words.
どうして私なんかに優しくするの？ラボメン
だからだよ。仲間だもん、お友達だもん。
でも私は。
A warm hand gently touches my cheek. A kind fingertip wipes my tears away. Kurushi-san smiles, her body so close to mine that the muzzle of the gun is pressed into her chest. Fetch, Kurushi! She's freaking amazing!
言ったでしょ。もし萌香さんが大変な目にあったり嫌な思いをすることがあったら必ず力になるって。
I knew it. I couldn't possibly hurt the people who cared so much about me. I can't kill my friends. In that case, I know what I have to do.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry for doing this despite your kindness. Farewell. FB.
MO! 何をしている？早く撃て！
私は M4 じゃない。
This isn't gonna end well, but dang, it's good! Get him! I'll protect everyone. The lab mems, my allies, my friends. I'll protect them no matter what. That's why I can't shoot them. I won't shoot them. I am Kiryu Moeka.
裏切ったか。ならば。
One of the men pinning Amane-san down reaches for his gun and stands up. The muzzle is pointed at Kurushi-san and Miyori-san. The instant I see him point the weapons at them, I toss my own gun to the side and leap between them, arms spread out. Shoot your gun! Dang it, Moeka! I'm glad. I finally got to be useful. Just as my vision starts to grow hazy, I see Amane-san break free of the rounders holding her down. And then...
油断したね。二人くらいなら一人でなんとかなるよ。と。
Before the other rounders can aim their guns, Amane-san picks up mine off the floor and pulls the trigger. In the blink of an eye, the attackers had collapsed to the floor. Okay. She's not gone. Throw her in the time loop machine. Send her back. Maybe she can fix this. I can feel my body going numb from the pain. My blood is spilling out all over the floor, and I can feel the strength draining out of my body. I'm going to die soon, I can tell. I wonder why my heart feels so calm. I've never felt so fulfilled in my entire life. Kurushi-san and Mayuri-san run over to me. I've never seen a CG so sad. Fetch.
死んじゃダメだよ。ね、萌香さん。
クリスさん、マユリ。
Get her in the time loop machine! They both look so sad, but at least they're unharmed. I'm so happy that I don't know what to do with myself. Ashida-kun, Amane-san, and Okabe-kun all gather around me.
キリュシ。
私がもっと早く襲撃に気づけてたら。
なぜだ、萌か。なぜ。
ごめんなさい。ダメ！血が止まらない。マユリ！
I put my hand on top of theirs as they apply pressure to my wound. They're warm, so warm I want to cry.
いいの。よくないわよ。すぐ手当てを。
I managed to shake my head once.
いいの。岡部君。あなたの IBN5100 は多分私が回収した。
何？どういうことだ？
D メイドで組織に IBN5100 が柳林神社にあるって。
Now, I definitely know that we never saw this in the main game, but I can't remember how he figured out that Moeka was the one that like kind of spilled the beans. Like, I know he figured it out eventually, but how? This is really interesting.
別の世界線ならきっと私はそうする。
なるほど。お前の任務は IBN5100 の回収だったのか。
だからD メールを4年前に送って全部分かったことに。
To undo it all? How?
は？分かった。
The recipient should be obvious. FB. If they sent an email to the time before the day I started relying on FB, I'd probably never become a rounder. I won't become a rounder. I'm sorry. Wringing out the last of my strength, I put my cell phone into Kusu and Miyuri's blood-stained hands. I barely managed to type out the letters, and I certainly don't have the strength left to push the send button. That's why I entrust everything to their warm hands, the hands that saved me from the cold of darkness. My cell phone used to be my entire world. When I was M4, when I was a rounder, my connection to FB was my everything. But now that I'm a lab mem, I don't need it anymore.
これを過去の FB に送って。お願い、過去を変えて。私を変えて。
I hate it though because we know what actually happens. It doesn't change very much.
萌歌さん、萌歌さん、萌歌さん、しっかりして。
二人に会えてよかった。
I see Okabe-kun nod his head behind the two as they cry.
案ずるな。次に目覚めた時、お前はラボメンだ。スパイなどではない。ただのラボメン。桐生萌香だ。だから今は安心して眠るがいい。安心して。
Fetch, man. Akabe-kun begins to cry as well. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it must be like to like know you're going and there's nothing you can do about it? They're all crying, calling out to me. I never knew they thought so much of me. Even as my body grows cold, I can feel the warmth of joy spreading within me. My eyelids grow heavy and they gently close. I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm sure I'll be asleep for a while. So long as I might never wake up again. But I'm sure that my time will come. I know my friends will come and wake me up. I believe in them. I can trust them. Just like how they trusted me. So for now, I'm going to get some rest. And when I wake up, I'll find a different, peaceful world where I can smile with my friends.
ありがとう、みんな。クリスさん、まゆりさん、次もまた友達になってくれると嬉しい。
I can feel my consciousness fading. I can't hear their voices anymore. I wonder if I'll really make it to another...
萌香さん、起きて。
Wait, what? What? Huh?
お寝坊さんはダメだよ。
I can hear two voices. I wonder why. Oh, I get it. I must have finally made it to another... Well, now I have depression. Fetch! Oh my gosh. That wasn't like I want to cry type of ending. That was more of a like, I just want to go curl up and just not look at anything for a while. I kind of want to cry, but like it's not the same like as others. But fetch. And like what's so worse is like knowing how crappy her ending actually is in the canon story. You know, well, okay, we don't know what happens in the Steinsgate world line. To be fair, I don't even think in like the episode in the anime that continues beyond it even has Moeka in it much. I haven't actually watched it. Am I so bad for having? I'm waiting to watch it because I'm currently going through Steinsgate with my wife, and I was saving it for that. But yeah, fetch. This was just terrible. Alright. So we have Mr. Braun, Suzuha, and Luca Cola next. And then I think there's at least one other story, or maybe two more. But the question now comes to here, and this is where the decision is going to be made for sure. I've been dropping hints for a while, but I need to ask you guys, anyone who's passionate enough, do you think we should just blast through it all and not save anything for you guys? Or if I should just save these last three and do them myself and get to the ending? I think I'm so torn about it, and frankly, I think it might be best if we skip them. But at the same time, the new owners of like the Steinsgate IP have been thoroughly slashing, not taking down my videos, but thoroughly slashing my control of said videos. And it makes me not as, I don't know, like, it's not, if they're okay with me putting up the content, but not like having much control over it, then I suppose it makes me less worried about that. But at the same time, I want them to think that I am supportive of them. So like, I'm really just torn. I shouldn't let my like grumpiness from the way they're deciding to handle like my videos on YouTube get in the way, but it kind of is. So it might be better if I just hear from you guys, just to have your insight as well. Regardless, we'll have another episode of this next week, probably a few more, but it's whether or not we're going to explore these three paths. Of the three, the Suzuha one is the one I find would be mostly the most interesting and like engaging. But like they're all good characters. I'm sure Mr. Braun, like Moeka, has a lot of like sympathetic building and like understanding of his nature. It's just hard to be as fond of him. But you know, that's not my place to really make a decision about. But and then Lukako's adorable, but I also I'm sure that his story is going to be very sad. But anyway, I'm gonna go through all these on my own. I'm trying to figure it out. Like it keeps getting muddled. But I'll have a solid decision by next week. I gotta. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I hope you guys have, you know, cures for depression. Get some ice cream or something, I don't know. But thank you for being a part of this, and until the next video, watching me, ever see me next. I'll see you there.